Ryan, what if I told you they took Alan Wake, really went heavy into the Twilight Zone influence and just made a bunch of Twilight Zone episodes?
Dude, sign me the F up.
Because that's what they did.
So that's what Alan Wake's American Nightmare is?
Alan Wake's American Nightmare is the second game in the House Party lineup for Xbox Live Arcade.
Yep.
You don't need the disc. It's totally separate. If you've not played Alan Wake, you don't need to, but you probably should.
It's a standalone.
It's a good game. But yeah, it's this interesting new thing that Remedy's putting out. It's not long after they're putting Alan Wake, the original game, on PC. This might come to PC eventually. They've kind of been winking at it. But yeah, it's got its own single-player component. It's got the story mode, but the other thing it has is an action mode, which is sort of a horde mode, survival mode, with the combat constructs of Alan Wake.
That is not what I want out of Alan Wake. I will say that after playing Alan Wake, what I want is less combat, more atmosphere, more story.
So let's jump into the story.
Okay.
I've played about the first 30 minutes. So far, it seems that it kind of starts with the hub world.
So we're basically, this is after the events of Alan Wake, right? This is continuing that narrative?
So it picks up after the second DLC.
Okay.
In the second DLC, we are introduced to Mr. Scratch, which is an evil alter ego of Alan Wake. And Mr. Scratch is this dude that looks like Alan Wake, but also kills guys.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to go too deep into, this is not a sequel. This is not Alan Wake 2. This is sort of a continuation, it's not a spin-off, but if what you want is, we're picking up for the last one left off and we're going to get a bunch of story resolution, that doesn't seem to be what this is. But there is story stuff.
Okay.
So,
but to your point about it being kind of an anthology, kind of a Twilight Zone.
Yeah, in this case, so Alan Wake got his start as a writer before he kind of went on to become a best-selling novelist as a staff writer on Night Springs, which is basically just the Alan Wake's mythology's equivalent of the Twilight Zone or Outer Limits, what have you. But specifically the Twilight Zone and having this narrator, and so there's a narrator that's talking over in addition to Alan talking, you have this narrator that is pulled straight out of the Twilight Zone, kind of commenting on your events and sort of pushing you in the right direction.
Well, folks who have played the original Alan Wake will remember there were Night Springs episodes in that, sort of like how Remedy had done with Address Unknown, their Twin Peaks knockoff in the first two Max Payne games.
Yes.
The darkness can take people over. That's why
the darkness. Wait, hold on. I'm confused. We're in a different game now. Mike Patton's in this? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I loved the fictional stylings of Alan Wake, and I am a huge Twilight Zone fan. So for them to embrace the Night Springs elements, so is that kind of the implication here? Is that you are living through some like Night Springs scenarios, or?
Yeah. So when you come into this world. So what I just did was there was an oil rig. You can talk to characters more in this game. It's not really meaningful, but you see that oil rig in the distance.
Yeah.
So Mr. Scratch has discovered places in, our perception of reality where there are soft spots in between sort of the dark realm and our reality, and he can bring the monsters through those soft spots. And one of those was underneath the earth, under this oil rig. So I had to collect pieces. I have these manuscripts that tell me things I can do to alter reality.
So the idea is that kind of the events of the first Alan Wake were at another one of these soft spots.
Yes, and so you're collecting these things. There's 21 of them. So it looks like, assuming I'm perhaps I played about 45 minutes of this. Maybe the manuscripts are a good way to get a sense of how far you are in the game because they're kind of propelling the story along. And so it seems maybe I'm about a third through.
Well, let's engage in a mission here. I already enjoying the shift in color palette here from the original Alan Wake, which was a lot of blues and
the lighting. The lighting is greatly improved in this game. Like it looks a lot sharper than in the original game. Brad was telling me that Alan Wake. I don't know if they've increased the resolution or not. I have to look, but Alan Wake kind of famously ran at a pretty low resolution.
Oh my God.
Isn't that great?
Oh my God. Yep, I remember that from Alan Wake. So, seems like kind of your fundamental gameplay here, not changing too much from Alan Wake, of using your flashlight to weaken these objects. And then I'm sure there will be monstrous dues that you need to do that and then shoot with guns at some point.
Yeah, that sort of basic construct has not changed. The mini map has been
Oh, you got stuff over there.
has been greatly improved. So you'll see now, in addition to the twinkling, it doesn't. So you see as you're moving around, see that question mark. The question marks give you a heads up that there are manuscript pages in the area. You know, one of the problems in the first game, as much as I loved exploring and get the manuscripts, it didn't make much sense sometimes where you were going, and it was distracting you from, you know, ostensibly you're supposed to be moving forward and experiencing the drama, but you're running into the middle of the woods to hopefully find a piece of manuscript. This kind of streamlines this. It's like, all right, over here, here's a manuscript. Go grab it.
I hated. I loved the contents of the manuscript pages, but I hated collecting them. I felt like the first game was not built as a game that was good for finding collectibles.
It was the coffee stuff.
Yeah, the coffee canteens or the thermoses was really bad too.
This is also a more interesting way to present those manuscripts than in the first game. It's a small touch, but
it's a great character voice. Is there something else over there?
Yeah, there's probably there is no short of ammunition in this game. I have discovered. They want you constantly locked and loaded. There's a lot more weapons in this. It's a little more combat focused, but it hasn't become overbearing yet. Let's try going around the front. So right now in the story, I took out that one oil rig, which is one way that Mr. Scratch was allowing monsters in, and Mr. Scratch had stayed in this diner and stayed in the motel, so I'm coming to investigate what he is up to and what I can do to stop him. I was just given some keys so that I can do that.
So are you ostensibly in Night Springs?
It seems like it, yeah. My understanding is that we are living through episodes of Night Springs that Alan Wake wrote. When the game opened, it said written by Alan Wake.
Okay, so sort of similar to the idea of stuff from his stories coming to life in the first game.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There's something to examine back there. Is this the default movement speed here?
I mean, you can run.
I mean, it just feels a little fast for kind of try to do some.
All right, so it looks like I have to go back
finer
to
exploration here.
The hotel rooms. Well, I mean, you don't. Everything glows in Alan Wake, so anything you need to interact with, you're going to know pretty much up front. But I like this kind of overworld section.
This little high desert. Yep. It's not a bad fake Rod Serling.
No, it is not. And it mostly just makes me want to spend. We're recording this on a Friday, but the weekend I just had, I bet I watched a bunch of Twilight Zone episodes.
Well, all of it is available on Netflix instant streaming, so I encourage folks.
Is it in HD?
No, but I mean, it's... Oh, okay, now you got dudes.
But yeah, I have submachine guns now, which is pretty good.
That show is also available on Blu-ray, but...
doesn't benefit too much from it.
I can't say it does. It's the quality that you get out of the versions on Netflix are plenty fine. So you're saying it give you a lot of ammo. That was really the ammo and the batteries for the flashlight were really both a significant issue, kind of a choke point in the combat in the original Alan Wake.
Have not found that to be the case. Oh God!
I was gonna say you're not done yet.
Okay.
Are you even having to reload flashlight batteries or?
Well, okay. Here's your new enemy. It's the Splitter.
Oh wow.
So you were kind of encouraged to try and take out the bigger guy, or he will split into these weaker ones. And sometimes they'll split even more than that. But so, like, the advantage of the submachine gun is that it's real fast. Yeah, I knocked a satellite down.
Oh.
I don't know why. I'm sure that will play into some. That was part of the reality that you had to put together. Because the satellite knocked into the oil rig.
Okay.
I just love that.
Yep, Night Springs. Well, okay, this is Night Springs 50 miles, so we are outside of Night Springs. Got it. But I feel like this is potentially like I hope this works. I hope that this format plays out.
because it's a really good way to make future Alan Wake games.
It seems like a great format for the character and for kind of the premise of this universe. Kind of nothing doing in this room.
No.
That door? No.
Nope. Let's go check out the other ones.
Alrighty. Very specific ones to go and explore. Well, dead guy.
They strike a real nice balance with this imitation voice too, because it's not bothersome. Like it's imitative, but in a really good way.
Well, he's not just straight trying to do a Rod Serling, but it is evocative enough that it gets the job done.
Okay, so
we're
I guess
gonna
this is
leave
taking us to the next area.
Okay, so we've got kind of, instead of it being
Alan Wake is a giant world because Alan Wake started as an open world game, so it doesn't surprise me that they're kind of segmenting it a little bit more. So no driving in this one, which I'm fine with.
yeah, again, I would even be happy with less of the fundamental combat, because it's not my favorite part about Alan Wake, but they're doing the tone and the atmosphere spot on here, so I'm pretty happy about that.
So I got the smoke monster-esque darkness running around. It's one of the new things in this that also, so let's say that you actually did like the combat in Alan Wake, and you kind of like the setting, but you don't really care for the story, so you never went after the manuscripts. There's actually a reason to go after the manuscripts from a gameplay perspective now, where you will come across different briefcases that contain weapons. In order to get more weapons, you have to have more manuscripts. So you were encouraged to kind of track them down in order, like, if you want the combat shotgun over the regular shotgun, well, then you need 25 manuscripts.
So there's a material reason to pick that stuff up more than just looking for flavor.
Yeah, and that transfers over into the arcade mode, which is the horde survival mode in this game, where you'll come across different crates that you can't access unless you've collected enough manuscript pages in the single player. So they feed into each other, and you're kind of encouraged to go back. And I'm sure there are probably super powerful weapons that you'll only get access to if you collect all of them.
It doesn't look like you. Okay, no, you do have. Okay, you have battery levels there. Is it still Energizer branded? Or no?
I don't know.
No, it was Duracell, right?
Yeah. Not sure if they re-upped their licensing agreement.
Do you have a Verizon phone?
I haven't used a phone yet. I want to say at the time, if we can get to the, I believe this is the same section when I saw this game a couple of months ago. I think this is the section they showed me, and the new song from, oh God, what's the band in this? The Old Gods?
Oh, right. I can't remember either, but yes.
I think their new song is featured in a section up here in the observatory.
Is it still structured episodically like that with little credits and such, or
I haven't gone far enough to see anything like that, but
go look up up to the right. I want to see the skybox. It's pretty good.
It's pretty nighty.
This soundtrack's kind of freaking me out. It's ambient stuff. Go hit your save point, man.
That's right. That's a checkpoint too. See, I avoided it because in the survival mode, they're a one-time use, and you need those desperately. So.
Yeah, they're really marking those manuscript pages.
Yep, and I think that's fine because it's better when they're not a total pain in the ass to. I guess there's 53 of them. I thought there was 20. I thought that.
Maybe that just meant there's
Oh,
per area.
per area. Okay.
Yeah. You got a ways to go still.
Yeah.
You're not as far along as you thought.
I wonder if you go back to the same areas. This is the first time I've left. Okay, so now I've got a carbine rifle, flare.
Go look at that map over there on the left. Let's see what that has to say. Mount Redtooth National. Let's see here.
I love super high-res textures.
Mm-hmm. So does Remedy. Oh, let's see if we can read some of that stuff. Nope.
Ah, damn it.
Not that high res.
Nonsense.
Peas and carrots, peas and carrots.
Hello? I'm Dr. Rachel Meadows, and... Wait a moment, it's you! I can't believe you dare show your face around here again.
So there's a lot of instances where you're running into characters that have seen you before, interacted with you before, but you have no memory of them.
So it's potentially the Mr. Scratch.
Right. So you're kind of not dissimilar to sort of a hangover premise of you got to go clean up your own shit, even if that wasn't you doing it. It was Mr. Scratch. But these people don't know any better. Boom. That was unnecessary.
To say.
Excessive.
But you got him.
That's all right.
Go away.
It wasn't me. I just look like it.
Are you serious? That's what you're going with? Please!
I'm trying to stop him. You saw those shadow things trying to kill me, right? I bet he got along with them just fine.
Yes. Yes, he did. All right. Come on in.
Oh, now she buys it. Get that manuscript page.
I don't suppose there are any episodes of Night Springs inside of Night Springs. So again, another one of my favorite little Remedy touches is their occasional use of FMV.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll do this little combat fight up here, and then we'll look at the rest of this. Because again, you know, if you like me, a large part of why you like this game is the story. So you don't want to get too deep into that.
Can you still click the one of the sticks to change your shoulder? Yep. Okay. Does it still seem to automatically air towards one or the other? Yeah.
Haven't noticed too much.
Okay. Because the first game, the idea, at least in theory, was that it was airing towards the shoulder that you were actually using more, but I always felt like it was taking me to the wrong side. But so I was constantly, clicking that stick to change it. Minor point, but still something that kind of bothered me.
I think it's one of those things that I didn't even notice that until someone told me, and then it bugged me a lot.
I am.
Oh, I skipped that by hitting B to try and open that door. That
sucks.
That's unfortunate.
More about the signal.
It's almost as if something's being transmitted to Night Springs. It's the strangest thing. It's quite elusive, almost as if it wasn't properly there. I don't...
So, what was the signal like?
He said it was none of my business. He seemed to change. Somehow he was very smooth and charming before that, but suddenly he became, I'm sorry. I'm not sure I want to talk about it.
A little
so these are optional dialogue things. You don't have to do this, but at least if you want a little more flavor. All right, let's see if this.
Wait, I want to see what her response to that question is.
Oh, too late.
Oh, damn it.
I really wish I hadn't accidentally skipped that cutscene. That was a bummer.
Real crappy.
Well, usually you have to hit B to go in a door, and at that time it just triggered the cutscene.
I could see what we were trying to do. That didn't seem like that was your fault at all.
And try to be careful. It's a very expensive part, and we don't have a replacement.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen later.
That sounded more callous than I intended. Be safe.
Wait, what about that TV pass?
Hey, buddy. I figured I'd take a moment to talk to you. There's a party next door. I'm feeling pretty good right now. A little beer, a little fun, between us. It's a little weird for me too, you know? I mean, we don't just look the same. There's a lot we share. I mean, up here, I know you, right? So I was thinking maybe we could...
Look, even Alan Wake is bored.
Whatever. I love this. This is fantastic.
These guys are getting out of control. Look, I feel like we're both victims of circumstance here. And maybe we could make some kind of effort to...
Anyone else seeing this? Anyone else watch this TV? Oh, maybe Mr. Scratch is gonna get pissed.
Nice.
Would make no sense, but I wish there was a full screen option.
Never mind.
Oh, it's good stuff right there.
Oh, is that gonna keep going?
We're gonna hear the party stop. Yep.
God, that really gets to the good. Like, you know, this game is kind of tense, kind of scary, but it has this real goofy quality to it that's super endearing. It's just very, very much Remedy. Like nobody else does it quite like they're able to. All right, so let's get out of here instead of showing more of that.
Show the arcade action here.
Yeah. So okay. So some of the nice stuff is. So this looks like this will have DLC, so assuming that will probably be more arcade action levels and not more story.
Mm-hmm.
So they have all the collectibles here, so that didn't, probably because I didn't save it, it didn't cache that in, but you can watch all of the videos in the game.
This is the opener here.
Yeah. Barry's in the motel, but they collect all that stuff for you, and you have all. And the nice part is too, if you don't want to sit and listen to these pretty long radio shows, they have all this stuff here, so you can sort of just click it.
So once you unlock it, you can check it out later.
Yeah, know that you've got it, and then you can kind of go back and check it out. Oh, I guess okay. So we see manuscript pages. So it looks like there are 3 areas.
Okay, rest stop, observatory, and drive-in. Okay.
So
maybe not the longest game.
No, I mean the real meat of it is this. Like there's story stuff for guy, you know, people like us who just we play an Alan Wake game. That's what we want. But this is what was born out of after Alan Wake shipped, and they were looking for something to do in between. You know, Remedy's a studio that works on really big games, and they wanted something small to work on, so fans had something while they kind of hopefully are working on Alan Wake 2. But so this is this is their equivalent of what has now become a pretty standard survival wave-based, but it still has the stuff, which is good.
Yeah, this is not what I want though.
No,
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure who wants this. I'm not sure who's like, yeah, less story, more weird fighting.
So you got 10 minutes in each of these, and I'm running around trying to collect as much extra flares and random crap. Oh. 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 There's multipliers. It's kind of all the kind of standard stuff you'd expect out of something like this. And yeah, you're right. I think it works just fine for what it is. But yeah, you're exactly right that it is not at all what I want from more Alan Wake. Like, as I've been playing it, it's amusing, it's kind of fun. I can see why some people might get into it, but it comes across as more as of a distraction than what Alan Wake fans want.
I mean, at least with this, it seems like they've got a more open area, and I feel like them learning the lesson of making sure that you are well equipped is a lesson well learned, because that was always a frustrating point in the original Alan Wake. It was, at least I found it to be a little too easy to run short on stuff, and then when you're in the middle of one of these encounters, there's not really much for you to do. It's sort of like, well, I ran out of stuff, so now I'm dead.
Yeah, and that does not seem to be a problem at all in this one. It seems like, based on where we left off, something we're like, halfway through this DLC, and it's, at no point have I even come remotely to a point where I don't have a ton of ammunition, or I don't know somewhere immediately around the corner where I can go and stock up.
Right. So there's it seems like a good half dozen of these levels.
Yeah, there's a good amount. Like, if this is something you end up getting into or finding interesting, there is a lot to it.
Crossbows.
Oh,
could be better here.
I'm not a fan of that crossbow. Oh.
All right, Patrick, let's bring this home then. Alan Wake's American Nightmare. It's coming out this Wednesday, $15 on Xbox Live Arcade. Currently exclusively on Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll probably follow the same pattern as Alan Wake. Come to the PC eventually, hopefully sooner than Alan Wake did. And yeah, it's seems like it's pretty short if you're looking for purely more story, but. If you're like me, you know that Alan Wake 2, if it comes, is probably a ways away. So if you want more, and it helps if you're a big Twilight Zone fan, like I think both of us are.
Yeah.
It's kind of worth it for just that part. But yeah, there's not a lot of meat to it in terms of the story hook, and I'll be curious to see how the ending, if it at all, sort of does any sort of setup for what could come next. But
even as a standalone thing, it does look intriguing. So if this wets your whistle, go ahead and check it out this Wednesday. Patrick, thanks for taking us through this American Nightmare.
Thank you.